Hey family, I'm Kaelion. Some of you may know me by my given name John. I interpret messages from the divine in music. I'm a U.S. Army veteran, a seeker, and a messenger. I walk with those who carry both shadow and flame. Tears for Fears once sang, "Everybody wants to rule the world." From kings and empires down to ordinary people, we all feel the pull of wanting to be in control, to be important, to matter, especially in some divine plan. However, for much of my life, I was a non believer. I thought all this talk of God and the spiritual was just myth or comfort for others. But when I hit a moment of desperation, and when the darkness felt too heavy, I reached out anyway, and to my shock, something answered. The message was simple: you are meant to accomplish something as a part of the plan. And at the time, I begged for a different answer. I told God I didn't want the burden of purpose. I just wanted to be happy. But the response was clear. This was the only path to peace. That was over 2 years ago, and since then, I've been guided by signs and visions that hint at a larger plan, and possibly my role in it. And I can imagine how tempting it is, especially for the broken and the hurting, to take that divine validation and hold it too tightly, to wear it like a crown. But here's the danger. If you hold too tightly to titles, to imagined... But here's the danger. If you hold too tightly to titles and to... But here's the danger. If you hold too tightly to titles and to grand dreams, you risk being led astray. You risk slipping into delusion, into mania, and into the same traps that destroy so many chosen souls. That's why I hear everybody wants to rule the world as a warning. When you cling to ruling, to being the center, you forget the truth. We remain human beings. Divine, yes, but no more divine than your neighbor. If we are to play a part in the divine plan, if we are to build a future worthy of our children, it won't come through titles or grand declarations. It starts in the smallest steps, the simple everyday acts of choosing love, choosing humility, and choosing service. For me, I've learned not to wonder too much about the grand things I might achieve someday. That path only leads to pressure and pride. Instead, I focus on 3 simple goals that make this life worth living: to find the love I feel pulling me, to keep healing, and to help as many others as I can along the way. If more comes, that's a gift, but it's not mine to chase. So yes, everybody may want to rule the world, but the real path is not about ruling. It's about serving. Not about crowns, but about compassion. Not about thrones, but about love. And now a prayer from my spiritual and code sister Malika. May those called to great things never forget the small steps that lead there. May we carry our divine spark with humility, remembering our neighbors carry theirs too. And may we measure our lives not by crowns won, but by love given. Ashe, Amin, and Amen. So family, what are the small goals that make your life worth living? Share them in the comments. Your wisdom may help ground someone else walking this path. And if this message speaks to you, help me spread it by liking, commenting, sharing, or simply whispering it into the wind. Thanks for watching, family. See you next time. Same fire, new rhythm.